Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Hello and welcome. I'm so excited you could join me today. We're going to talk a little bit about flipping things around. Sometimes life flips things around, but often we also have to flip things around to train our bodies differently, to get moving in different ways, to strengthen all the things. So when I say flip things around, what I mean is if we've got a grip going one direction, sometimes turning the grip or changing an exercise targets more muscles. It kind of gives us a new variation, a new experience, and gives the body different ways to get stronger. And it's interesting. If we do the same thing all the time, well, that's not as exciting. And I like things loud, exciting, fantastic. So we're going to flip a few things around just to get you strong. And that being said too, sometimes, well, I shouldn't even say sometimes, because we are all stronger on one side. If you think about it, you're more bendy on one side. So my right arm works better than my left arm. My shoulder has different flexibility. I'm stronger on one side. I've always carried my kids on my left hip. So it's just different ways we're strong, or from using a cane, my one arm is much stronger than the other. So those are just ways that we're very one-sided. So when we change things around, it challenges our body to get stronger and develop in a way that will help us prevent injury and do our daily activities. So we are going to get warmed up, and then we're going to move into some exercises that'll work on those kind of flipping things around on you, and we won't do any actual flips, I promise. And then we will cool down. And don't forget, or if you're new to joining us, we're going to head into some interviews after we cool down. So let's get that body moving, because that's what prepares us for exercise. I am going to start out with a favorite. It's a go anywhere exercise, and it's not so much flipped around, but I am going to change one of the ways I do it. So I'm going to do a neck stretch, but I'm going to use the addition of my hand to aid the stretch. So you can, pardon me, do this sitting or standing. I'm standing. I'm going to have my arms relaxed down at my sides. I'm nice and tall, so you don't want to have poor posture. You want to think of being a large stack of blocks or Legos that's not going to topple over to the best of your ability. Your belly is engaged, so think of that belly button being in and up. So it's like you are just kind of supporting. If I were to poke you in the belly, you're supporting that abdominal or that belly area. I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to bring it up towards my face, and my first two fingers, so not my thumb, but my first two fingers, I'm going to bring my hand across and put those two fingers to the opposite side of my face. So it's just along my jawbone, actually. Now I'm going to look or turn my head towards my shoulder as if I was shoulder checking. So I'm looking over the shoulder, but I'm using those two fingers to gently guide. And now if it feels good, you can kind of bring your nose more towards your shoulder. So figure out where you get that stretch and release. And we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So I'm taking my arm, I'm bringing my hand up, my first two fingers to the opposite side of my face along the jawbone. And I'm going to shoulder check, which I should not be doing because I can't see what's behind me, but it's the best way for me to describe the motion. So if you can think of what that might look like, you're going to look over your shoulder. So imagine there's something behind you and you want to check it out. I got shiny pants on. I wonder if I can see them behind me. So I'm just gently guiding, and if I want to bring my nose closer towards my shoulder, like just adjusting the angle. So move your head just carefully and slightly to see if you can, oh yeah, I felt that was good. And release. So that's a neck stretch that you can do anywhere. I do a lot of focus on stretching the neck because we hold stress in our upper body, and let's get rid of some of that. So now we're going to skip. This is something I do not do well. If I do skip, I prefer a weighted rope that makes sound when it hits the ground. So that's a tip that I use when I'm skipping, but to use a regular skipping rope is really difficult for me, so I need to go by sound. We're going to take the rope out of it, which is fantastic. So if you've never skipped before, don't worry. So seated or standing, I'm going to talk you through just the arm version first. So my hands are at my side, so you choose whether you want to sit or stand. And I want you to make gentle fists. Imagine you have the end of a rope in each hand. Okay, so what the object of skipping is to kind of swing that rope up and over you and jump over it. So we're going to keep our elbows kind of tucked into our body. My arms are bent, so my elbows have a bend in them. Now I'm going to kind of rotate the wrist, but along with what we call the forearm. So from the wrist to the elbow, that's going to kind of draw circles, keeping those elbows tucked in. So you imagine you're bringing that rope up and over, so you can make the circles as big as you want, but I'm not swinging my whole arm. So you can rotate those arms, bringing that rope around. Now, if you want to add the legs, you're going to hop over that rope. So if you're standing and you feel confident to do that. So as I bring the rope around, I'm going to skip. So it's imaginary rope. If you miss it, don't worry. So as I rotate, I hop, rotate and hop, rotate and hop. And you can pick it up to any pace you want. So this will give you a little more cardio boost if you bring it quite quickly, either with the arms or the legs. Now you're going to take your arms at your sides, seated or standing, bring them straight out to the sides in the letter T. And I'm going to rotate the body. So just like that shoulder check, but I'm using my whole upper body to turn to one side and back to center. And the other side, and back to center. And I want you to go ahead and do one more each side, and we are going to take a short break and head right into some exercises.
Get ready to exercise. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen. We'll be right back. Let's exercise. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen is back.
I want you to think about something as perhaps simple as crossing your legs. Or when it comes to your hands, if you were to clasp your hands, you do it the same way every time without even thinking. It's just something we naturally do. But to change that pattern, to cross the opposite leg, or the hardest one for me is when I clasp my hands to try and change the way I've clasped my hands. It feels strange and wrong, but it's repatterning my body to not just automatically do one thing. So it's retraining my brain and my body. So we're going to change some of these exercises, like I said, to kind of retrain your body. So give that a try with either your hands or your legs, either crossing your legs one way then the other, or clasping your hands and trying to change the clasp. It's very, very strange. So I'm going to just pick up some dumbbells. You do not have to use weights at all. I've got 3-pound dumbbells in each hand. So these are, for me, these are a bit on the lighter side, but this works really good for my shoulders. So always go light before you go heavy. It'll prevent injury. So we're going to reverse a row. So we're going to use what we call a reverse grip. So standing or seated, I want you to let your hands or your arms hang down at your sides where your palms are facing the outside of your thighs. No matter which position you are in, I want you to activate that core so your belly is nice and tight, like I talked about in the warm-up. Okay? And you're like a stack of Lego or blocks, so everything's in line. We're not hunched over, we're not leaned back. Now we're going to turn our palms so they're facing forward. So I'm going to rotate my hands so my palms are facing forward. You can either make fists or hold those weights. Now I'm going to hinge at the hips, so I'm going to bend slightly forward. And because I'm standing, I'm going to soften my knees a bit. That means like just a gentle bend. If you're seated, I want you to lean forward slightly. So don't hunch over. Think of that, your hips being kind of a hinge and folding slightly forward. So my arms are quite close into my sides. And now what I'm going to do is draw my elbows back behind me. So I'm bending at the elbows and pulling them straight back behind me, squeezing the center of the back and releasing. You're probably going to feel one side of your body is stronger than the other. When we do the other version of this where our hands are flipped the other way, it's often easier. So bring those elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades together and release. So it's working slightly different muscles. Pull back and release. Pull back and release. Pull back. This is halfway. Release and bring it back. And now when I say release, I want you to use control to lower those arms back to the starting position. That's very important. And bring it back and to that starting position, because the second part of the exercise is just as important as the first. Give me one more. Bring it back and release. So we're going to do another set here. Feel free to shake it out. If you just let those arms go into that neutral or starting position, you're losing a whole half of the exercise. Now, can this be done one-sided? Yes. So this can be done very much the same way, targeting one side at a time or one side only. So there's so many variations here. If you're familiar with a standard kind of a bent over row, you're going to know that difference. If you haven't tried it, don't worry. Stick with us and you will see it in one of these episodes. Okay, so second set, seated or standing. First, I'm starting with that core, that posture. I'm hinging at the hips. If you're seated, you want to fold slightly forward. Keep your shoulders down your back, arms at your sides. Turn your arms so your palms are facing forward. Bend those elbows, and I want to pull those elbows straight back behind me. Bring those weights or no weights behind. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. Release with control. And back and lower and back and lower. This next one brings you to your halfway mark. Back and lower and back and lower. Keep your head in line with your spine, and back and lower and back and lower. Oh, shake it out. So if you're using weights, you might feel it. If your shoulders are feeling really tired and really sore, this is where you're going to want to set those weights down, okay? Or soup cans or water bottles, whatever it is you are choosing to use. This can also be done with, guess what? I've used a white cane. I have a white cane. I've used it, a broomstick. It depends what I've got on hand. I've unscrewed the handle of a mop before. You can use all these things in your home. So arms are at the sides. I'm bending at the waist, so slight hinge forward or fold forward. My back is nice and long. So think of it being flat, kind of like my grandson has a car ramp that he likes to race his cars and trucks on. So it's like a ramp, okay? Very steep ramp. Now my palms are going to turn forward and I'm going to pull those elbows back. Squeeze between the shoulder blades like you've got a pencil between there. You want to break that pencil and release. And squeeze and release. And just so you know, I'm nowhere near breaking any pencil. This is just for imagination's sake, so you can feel those muscles. And bring it back and lower with control, and back and lower with control, and bring it back. What is your core doing? I hope it's still engaged. Lower with control, back, lower with control, and one more. Back and lower with control, and shake it out. If you wonder, well, what are we doing? So we're doing roughly 3 sets of 8. So I tell people, start with 3 sets of 8 to 10 when you're doing exercises like this. Sometimes when we're doing push-ups, we drop those reps to what's comfortable for you. You want to be able to complete repetitions without struggling. The last one might feel kind of tough, but it's doable. That's the important part. That's how you can tell how many repetitions you need in each set. So now we're going to work on bicep curls. Your arms are going to be just lovely after this. Okay, so I'm going to do this standing. You can join me seated. Arms are at my sides. I'm going to keep hanging on to these dumbbells. I'm going to flip my palms facing forward. Now this is a different motion, and I'm going to show you the flipped version of it after. So a bicep curl, you're going to keep your elbows close in towards your sides, and we're going to bend at the elbows, squeezing your upper part of your arms. So think of Popeye or Arnold Schwarzenegger, giant arms working the upper part of that arm. So you're going to bending at the elbow, bring those weights up and bring them up kind of without moving your elbows. They're glued to your rib cage up towards your shoulders. So you're hinging those elbows like a door, and then lower with control. So it's just as much on the contraction part, bringing it up, as it is on the extension part of the exercise. And up. Your wrists are in line with your elbow. So what that means is it's straight. It's not curled like you're bending them back or forward, okay? And bring them up and lower, keeping those elbows tucked nice in towards your sides, and up and lower. Let's go for 3 more. Up and lower. Last 2. Up, squeeze on the up, squeeze and control on the down, and up and lower. Did you know you can adjust the speed of a bicep curl? You can do them slow, you can do a regular speed to curl up and an extra slow speed to bring them back down. There's so many things that we can do to change an exercise such as this. So we're going to move into set number 3. If you're using dumbbells and this is getting quite difficult, set them down, or you're welcome to take a longer break. Okay, arms are at my sides. I'm going to rotate so that my palms are facing forward, my wrists are in line with those elbows, bending at the elbows. Keep them in towards your sides, shoulders down your back, and bring those weights up as you're bending at the elbows towards the face, and back down and up. And remember that control down. It's so important. And up and back down. Why do we need to do these? And up. These are very much and back down, part of your push and pull muscles that help you with everyday things. Up from moving, whether it's ourselves, and back down to groceries, to children, to pets, and up and back down, and 2 more. Up and back down and up and back down. Oh my word. So we're going to shake that out. Okay, so you have one last set of these, and then we are going to change that motion. We're going to simply flip. Okay, so your palms are facing forward again. Show me what you got. Bend at the elbows, bring it up and back down and up and back down. Can you do 4 sets of 8? Up and back down. Yes, a person can, but that's changing the type of workout. Up and back down and up and back down. And you would just want to be consistent with that up and back down. Different reps and sets are used to build muscles differently. Up and back down. We have 2 more. Up and back down. And I'm going to have you finish these reps, and we will get to more exercises after the break.
Keep moving. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen. We'll be right back. Back to the exercises on Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Well, I don't know about you, but my arms are definitely starting to feel it. I've got no pain, but I can feel that I've worked. So as I kind of alluded before, we're going to flip that grip. It's going to change some of the muscles we work. If you're finding that your arms are really, really tired, you can take a longer break. You can set those weights down. Feel free to shake it out. You can take this as a water break, or join me. So I'm going to do this standing. You can do this one seated as well, which is so nice. I've got my arms. I've still got my 3-pound dumbbells. Yes, I probably should have set them down on the break, but I still got them in my hands. My arms are at my sides. My palms are facing the outer part of my thighs. Okay. So this time I'm going to rotate my hands so my palms are facing back, and it's the exact same motion as the bicep curl, only your palms are back. This is going to feel really, really weird. It's really important here. So if you run your hand down your arm from your shoulder all the way down to your knuckles, it should be straight. If it's not, because your wrist is flexed or curled, you'll be able to feel that. And I want you to adjust your hand so that your wrist is not flexed back or flexed away. Okay, so that your arm is one nice long line. Now keeping your elbows kind of in, don't squeeze them into your ribs, but you're going to keep them what we call stable. You're going to bend at the elbows and do that same motion, bringing these weights towards your face. So hinging the elbows. Oh, this is much harder. And release with control back down. So I might end up putting my weights down because I would usually go for a lighter one for this one, and up and back down. I'm just going to pop my weights down and bending at the knees to do so, and up and back down. So if you have some shoulder imbalances, this one might be tough. It's a really good one to train. Up and back down, and that's when you can grab that broomstick without the broom end on it, or your cane if you have one. Up Keeping those elbows in towards the body and back down, so stable. Up and back down, and we have 3 more. Up and back down. So just by flipping something around, up and back down, you can see the difference in what muscles you're working and your strengths and weaknesses. Up and with control, back down. So I definitely feel this in my forearms, so the tops of my arms and the backs of my upper arms, so my triceps. So my forearms and my triceps is where I'm feeling this a lot, as well as my shoulders. Like I said, if you have weights and you need to put them down, you're welcome to do that. Let's roll right into set 2. If you need more time, take the time. Shake things out, okay? So my hands are at my sides. Often when things feel awkward, like that did, your core just goes, ugh, it just lets go. It's like, no, we're not doing the work here. It is very important that that stays what we call on or activated the whole time. I don't want you to let it go until maybe sometime in the cool down. That's your challenge of the day. Or if you need to let that relax, your abs relax, your abdominals relax, you can reset them, okay? But you only want to let them relax between sets. So arms at your sides, palms facing back, bend at the elbows. Imagine bringing your bar up towards your face. It's probably about chin level for me or just below, and lower. This is me just ballparking because I can't see my fists. Bending at the elbows. I'll have to try it with the bar again, and back down to gauge the level. And bringing it up and back down. This is your halfway point. If you're finding it too easy without weights, you want to just be slow and controlled, not super snail slow, but you want to use control to bring it up and lots of control to bring it down. Imagine the air is like thick. Up and back down. You're moving through yogurt or oatmeal. Up and back down. I have a tendency to relate a lot of things to food. 2 more. Up and back down, and up and back down. So if you want, because this one is a lot trickier, this is where you would pop your weights down. You're going to shake it out. I'm just going to shake my hands, my arms. I'm going to roll my shoulders a little bit, so making shoulder circles if you want. Sometimes this feels, for me, it feels really good because my shoulders are, well, they've had some issues. My shoulders, some trauma happened to them. So I'm going to move into the 3rd and last set of this exercise. So really the tops of my arms, of my forearms, are really going to notice this because they're weaker than your biceps, where we were using the flipped version, okay? So my palms are facing behind me, arms are in towards the body. What's my core doing? I'm going to keep it nice and tight. You're like a stack of Lego, bending at the elbows. Bring that bar or imagine those weights coming up, and lower them down with control, and up and lower, and up and lower. And guess what? Even my back is doing some work. It's wonderful. Up and lower. And what do we need our forearms for? So many things. And lower. So why we would strengthen them. Up, grip strength can be one, and lower. Mousing is another one if you use a computer mouse a lot. Up and lower. One arm is going to be weaker than the other. One arm's going to be tighter. So we have 2 more. Up and lower. And last time. Up and lower. Shake it out. Nice work, everyone. So when you're making those fists, we don't want to make those fists so tight that it's already activating the forearm. So it's already activating your arms. Imagine you're holding something in each hand. Plus that's going to keep you from digging your nails into your hands, which does not always feel good. So I'm going to talk you through an overhead press, or actually a skull crusher. We're going to do skull crushers today. And we're also going to do squats. And we're going to do sumo squats. So think of big, think of changing it. You might have done squats with me before. We're going to change them up. So I'm going to grab 1 dumbbell. So I'm bending down with I'm bending at the knees, and I'm not bending over with my head. So seated or standing, this is wonderful. This will be your upper body variation and your core, believe it or not, for this round of exercises. So I'm holding a dumbbell with both hands. I'm just gonna let my arms go down at my sides, and my hands are in front of me holding that dumbbell. So one flat end of the dumbbell is kind of facing towards kind of my belly and my hips, and the other one is facing straight away from me to the wall in front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with control, I'm using my stomach muscles to keep everything engaged. I'm going to raise that dumbbell, keeping my arms straight, except for we want a soft bend in the elbows, like it's just soft, it's not locked. Raise that weight all the way up straight above the head. So it's right up to the sky, straight above the head. Now this is where I'm going to bend at the elbows, and my elbows are they're open. They're kind of to each corner of the room. They're not all the way open, and they're definitely not close. I'm going to imagine taking that dumbbell or pretend dumbbell towards the back of my head and reaching it straight up towards the sky and bending at the elbows, bringing that dumbbell back. Hence the name Skull Crusher. And up and back. So it's like it's the back of the crown of my head. And up. So there is your upper body variation. I am going to set the weights down, although you can use weights for squats. I'm going to step it wide. So don't do the splits, please. Highly uncomfortable unless it's something you love, but you can't really, I shouldn't say can't. Very difficult to do the squats in a split position. So I've got, my legs are wider than my hips. I check by running my hands down my sides. Yeah, absolutely, they're wider. I'm going to turn my toes out just slightly so they're kind of facing the corners of the room in front of me. It gives me room for my hips to maneuver between my legs. And when I squat, my knees are not going to go over top of my toes ever. Okay, that's where your knees, we call them shooting out. And when I squat down, I'm going to imagine sitting on or just touching my butt on a stool or chair. Your knees and your toes should go the same direction. Your hands, what are you going to do with them? You can have them at your sides, you can have them on your hips, you can clasp them in front of you, you can hold a dumbbell, you can have your arms above your head. You have so many options here where we can really change it up. Core, belly button in and up. So I'm going to widen my squat a little bit because as a former power lifter, I like the sumo stance. It's comfortable for me. All right, so we're going to go ahead with the skull crushers, or you're going to join me for some sumo squats. Your knees go in the same direction as the toes. I'm going to imagine sitting down onto a chair and coming back up. Now this whole time you have, let's vary up. Let's say you got 5 cents. 5 cents, you've got a nickel between your butt cheeks. I want you to hang on to it the whole time. Do not drop it. Okay, then we're going to squat down, or you're going to work on the skull crushers. Don't drop it. Up, squeeze, and use your belly muscles. And we're going to bring it down, touch the chair, and back up. Down, touch your chair or your stool, back up. So don't think of sitting, you're just touching. Down, your chest is up, so we don't want to bend at the waist or forward. We don't want to bend forward, so you want to be looking at the wall in front of you or slightly down. Down and back up. And give me 2 more skull crushers or these fantastic sumo squats. Down and back up. 1 more. Down and back up. So by changing the stance, we're slightly changing how that exercise feels. It's changing your balance. And it's just developing those muscles differently. You might like it more, you might like it less. So you can set up for another set of skull crushers, or we can drop back into another set of squats. So tighten that core, grab your imaginary nickel, and we're going to squat down and back up and down and back up. So really squeeze that nickel to come back up, down and back up, down and back up, down and back up, and 1 more, down and back up. So you can go ahead and shake it out. And we're going to go ahead and do 1 more set. And then you get to stretch out. That's the rewarding part. Mind you, I find squats rewarding, but that's just how I roll. Okay, so nice and tall, skull crushers or sumo squats. Watch for those knees are tracking. Abs are tight. Grab onto your imaginary nickel with your butt cheeks. and down and up and down and up. That chest is nice and tall. Down and up, down and up and down. And guess what? You can have a chair in front of you to just rest your fingertips on if that helps with balance. That's a nice thing too. And down and up. And we have 3 more. Down and up, down and up, and 1 more. And you can grab some water and cool down with me in a few moments.
Keep moving. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
All right, we're going to get ready to cool down and to stretch some of those muscles that we have worked. You can take longer in these stretches than I'm going to go through. You can come back to them. The point is to enjoy them. Take them with you throughout your day. We're going to start with that upper body because I don't know about you, I can feel it. And I know some of the muscles that I've been targeting and working on, so I'm going to stretch them out. I'm going to enjoy it. So I want you to think of a genie, or like Aladdin, or if we're going Gen X, which will date me for sure, I dream of genie. So what I'm going to do is in a seated position, so I'm cross-legged on the floor, but you can sit in a chair. I'm going to take my arms, they're at my sides currently, I'm going to bring them straight out in front of me. My palms are facing each other. I'm simply going to cross my arms like I'm giving myself a hug. One arm on just below my shoulder, so crossing it across the body, so they're crossed in front of me, just like I'm giving myself a hug. So just imagine giving yourself a hug. It can be as tight or as loose of a hug as you want. For me, my shoulders are tight. I'm going to loosen up that hug. And I'm going to make a C shape with my back. So I'm going to tuck my chin towards my chest, and I'm going to think of stretching my arms away from my body and curling my upper body into the shape of a C. And releasing. So it's getting into that upper back. So I'm not stretching back, I'm stretching forward. Okay, my lower body is nice and stable. And I'm going to reach forward. Imagine pulling your elbows to the wall in front of you. They're reaching way away. Arching your upper back. So if you've ever done yoga, this is like the cat phase of in the cat-cow stretch. It's kind of like arching like a cat. So I think of a genie granting a wish by nodding their chin down and reaching kind of forward with their arms. So reach and release. And we're just going to change the cross of your arms because we have to flip things around. That feels strange. Okay. So same thing in that loose hug. Change the cross of your arms. Stretch into that C position and release. Stretch into that C position and release, and you're welcome to do 1 or 10 more if you like. I'm going to shake out my arms. I have another arm stretch for you. So my arms are down at my sides. I'm going to take my left arm. It doesn't matter which one you start with. Left, right, does not matter. So I'm going to take my left arm and I'm going to bring it up at shoulder height. Okay. And I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to simply use my right arm to bring my left arm across my body. So wherever you put your hand, wherever's comfortable, just don't grab onto your elbow, the joint of the elbow. So I'm just going to bring, so it's like half a hug. I'm using one arm to bring the other arm across. Don't twist your body. Oh, that feels quite fabulous on the arms that we've worked. I'm actually wiggling my fingers right now because that feels good too. And I'm going to release and I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to take my right arm, bring it straight up in front of me so my fingertips are reaching forward. I'm going to take my other arm and grab onto that right arm. I'm going to pull it across my chest or across my body. I'm taking a good stretch. And enjoy that stretch. You can do it again to each side, whatever feels wonderful. But what I'd like you to do, I'm going to release out of this stretch, is to stay moving, stay motivated, and stay with us after that break.
Up next on Healthy at Home, Bobbi sits down to answer all your exercise questions. We're back with health and wellness tips on Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
We're going to do things a little differently today. and answer some questions from the audience. You get to hang out with me in a coffee shop, which is one of my favorite places to be. And we're going to dive right into it. So our first question is from Jennifer.
Hi, Bobby. I'm on a fixed budget. Is it necessary to spend a lot of money on workout equipment?
This is a question I get asked quite frequently. Exercise in itself is free. The cost to move your body, non-existent. You can use your own space, your own body weight and resistance, or things such as soup cans, water bottles, things that are really already on hand. So exercise shouldn't need to break your budget. We're going to go to the next question, and it's from Adam.
I'm a wheelchair user. Can you suggest 1 or 2 quick and easy exercises to tone my shoulders?
The shoulders are complex, only because there's different supporting elements to the shoulders. So I think one of the most common exercises to strengthen your shoulders, as opposed to tone them, would be side raises or front raises. Now this can be done with your own body weight or with soup cans. Remember to use the same kind of soup, or water bottles. So what I would do is, sitting up nice and tall, I would have my arms hang at my sides, my palms facing towards my legs. Or if you're holding soup cans, water bottles, or even if you happen to have very light dumbbells, I'm going to raise them straight out to the side, out to shoulder height. So it's almost like a T. So I'd bring them straight out to the shoulders and back down. I'd use resistance both on the bringing of the arms up and lowering. So that's going to help strengthen the shoulders. And that same motion can be done in a front raise. These can also be done one-sided as well. We talk lots about the shoulders in the exercise portions. So my arms would be down at my side, sitting nice and tall. This time, I'm just going to make loose fists. I actually don't have any weights, but my palms would be technically facing behind me. So then I'm going to raise my arms straight up in front of me at a shoulder height, as if my fists were punching towards the wall in front of me. And I would lower them back down with resistance, strengthening the shoulders. But you will also need to strengthen muscles of the chest and the back to help support these exercises. The next question is from Kim.
How much should I be hydrating when working out? And is water good enough, or should I be drinking sports drinks?
This is such an excellent question. Often we don't get enough water to begin with, so water is my go-to. You want to make sure you're drinking your recommended daily amount of water, 8 to 10 cups, close to 2 liters of water. If you're looking at sports drinks, it's usually for a more high-intense type of exercise that is longer than an hour per day, but would refer you to somebody that can give you more guidance or specializes in kind of the area of nutrition. And water can be boring. I know this. So spice it up a little. Add some cucumber, add some mint, add some fruit. There's water enhancers, go easy on them. But enjoy your water. So that is my go-to, is always water first. The next question we have is from Sherry.
Hi, Bobby. I'm a morning person. Is that the best time to exercise?
I am also a morning person. I just don't like to talk in the morning before I've had my coffee. It's going to be what works for you. And what I've found is when you have the time, you feel the need or the desire to move. And when it doesn't impact your sleep. Some people, for me, if I exercise too late at night, I can't sleep. It kind of gives me that boost of energy. So if it gives you a boost of energy, morning might be great. If it doesn't really affect you and it helps you wind down, evening might be great. It also depends on the type of exercise. So it's kind of a trial and error, and do what suits your schedule. So we're going to go to a question from Miles.
Can you recommend some good stretches for white cane users?
There's so many great stretches for white cane users. I've been using my cane quite a bit since my dog is retired, and I'm constantly stretching to prevent injury and just to relieve any tension. So some of my favorites I'll share with you. The shoulders take a big brunt, but we incorporate both sides if we can. So what you've done to one side, you're going to do to the other. The shoulders, we're going to do both. I'm just going to sit nice and tall, and I'm simply going to shrug my shoulders up towards my ears. Big breath in as you do that, and exhale, bring it down. You can hold that for a couple seconds as you do this. Do this as slow as you would like and as many repetitions. It's great for reducing tension. Another area that really takes, besides getting the cane in the guts, which I do sometimes, another area that takes the brunt would be my wrists. So white cane users probably are more prone to wrist and shoulder injuries. So one of my favorite nice easy peasy wrist exercises. So I had a table in front of me. I'm just going to navigate my hands on top of the table. I'm going to raise my arms straight out in front of me. My palms are facing each other. My arms are probably a little lower than shoulder height. I'm going to make just gentle fists, and I'm going to draw circles with my knuckles. So I'm rolling the wrists, making wrist circles. Now it doesn't matter which direction you do them because you're simply going to reverse that direction. And I'm just reversing those circles. So you can do those anytime, anywhere, and even one side at a time. Sometimes when I'm walking, I'll stop and just rotate that wrist on my cane hand. Another one I really like would be to like a wrist flexion and extension. So once again, I'm going to start with my arms down at my sides. My palms would be facing the outside of my thighs. I'm going to raise my arms. I'm going to get them up over the table to about shoulder height this time. Now I'm going to bring my hands so the palms are facing down. So my arms are straight out of the shoulder joint. Now I'm going to tip my wrist. So bend my wrist. I'm going to use my right hand. So the fingertips go right to the sky. My arm stays still. So it looks like I'm high-fiving the wall in front of me. My opposite arm, which is, I'm going to call my free arm, I'm going to bring it across the body to almost high five that other hand. So I'm gently going to put some pressure on the palm of that hand that's doing the bending, and just guide those fingers back so I get a little stretch within the wrist. You don't want to ever feel pain. So I want to do the opposite of this movement. So now I'm going to bend my wrist downwards so my fingers point towards the ground, and that hand that was pressing the palm is going to press on gently on the back of the hand, just guiding it to get a stretch in the back of that wrist. And you can hold for a couple seconds and repeat it as many times as you like. What you do to one side, it is helpful to do to the other, but this can be done one-sided. So now we're going to move on to Kelsey's question.
We all have busy schedules. How long should I set aside for exercise?
There's no set time for exercises. What works for you? Any amount of movement is beneficial. Some days I do an hour, some days I do half hour. Sometimes at the office, I can get in a nice 15-minute walk. So do what works with your schedule. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending your questions in. It's always so great to hear from our audience. I hope this helps you on your wellness journey, and we will see you next time.
Produced by Honeycut Studios. Host Bobbi Janzen. Accessibility consultant Sierra Roth. Special thanks to The Underground Cafe. Integrated Described Video consultant Ron Rickford. Content Development Specialist Jim Crisco. Supervising Producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Programming Lisanne Gagne. Director Content Development and Production Kara Nye. Vice President Content Development and Operations John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2024 Accessible Media Inc.
An AMI original production.